This is Between the Lines. Today, we dissect the road less traveled.
Hello, here we are with the road less traveled, final chapter of the book. However, we will have another episode where I will read a little bit about the afterword that the doctor have here, and some ideas and some things also, maybe or not. Yes, I think more personal that I will talk about the challenges I had regarding some words that the book uses and some things that may have different meanings nowadays, and those kind of things I will see in the next episode. But so far, this is the last chapter of the book. So we will go into that right now. The Road Less Traveled, chapter 51, The Welcoming of Grace. And in this chapter, the doctor makes like a wrap up of this section, especially about grace. And he talks that grace is the thing that we were trying to define and understand during this whole section. And we could say nowadays it's like the enlightenment of us as a person, this search for grace, of this path of enlightenment. Maybe you have heard like that. And it's like this spark that help us grow in our spiritual journey. We could say that's the idea of grace in general. However, paradoxically, grace is something that we cannot really or completely define or seek for, because when we are seeking for a grace, we might not find it. It's completely elusive. And at the same time, sometimes we are not looking for grace, this idea of this concept of being touched by this spark, and that helps us move forward in life, in our path. And we may never have that spark, or that insight, that thing that will help us move forward, even though we are looking constantly for it. So it's like a paradox. And the doctor talks about it, and he says maybe we shouldn't find an answer, a specific answer or a recipe about grace. The best thing we can do is to prepare for it, prepare the soil for the seed to grow, or for grace to come to us, or to fall into our nurtured environment, we could say. So yes, he says here that if we want to find grace, or if grace decides to come to us, look for us, it will help us if we are aware that grace might be around us and maybe we are not seeing it. Instead of constantly looking for it, just being aware and paying attention to the things going around us, we might find that we can take grace will find us, and we can use it, or it can assist us during our journey or our path in this road less traveled, which is the road to spiritual growth. We can take advantage of this grace, because when it finds us, it can help us move forward, like unblock something that's not letting us see the way forward. And another way it can assist us is by regaining a sense of direction. The same thing, right? We now see we have this blockage, lift up for us, and we can see the road now, and we can see which direction we should go, or at least we can make a decision about that. And the third one is it also helps us or encourages us to continue, gives us the necessary fuel to go forward with the thing we need or with the path we want to go. It gives like the last push, we could say. So these are the three things that by being aware we can help grace help us. We can use this grace that has come before us and use it to move forward. And about this elusiveness of grace, or this awareness of this state of grace, of this touch of grace, as we have mentioned before, regarding the elusiveness of grace, that we sometimes want to look for it, want to go towards grace, want grace to be by our side, and we look for it constantly. The doctor actually mentioned some things that he also used the word serendipity, this thing that somehow happens to us that help us unblock us in some way towards our path. And he talks about, for example, when we are too obsessed, and I know some people that are obsessed with dreams, for example, and he talks about his patients that they were constantly looking for the meanings of dreams and writing them down. And though it is a good practice to have that in mind, but they were too obsessed and too focused on that most of the dreams really didn't serve anything and had no purpose for them, had no help for them. And he said, I had to teach these patients to let go of their dreams, to don't have any control on them, not to focus too much on them, just get to that balance. And on the other hand, for patients that were unaware that dreams could be of help sometimes to them, he had to teach them, okay, sometimes you have to take care of things that your conscious is trying to tell you, and it will have some meaning for the situation you are in. Maybe they will have meaning, maybe they won't, maybe they will be of help for you, and sometimes they won't. So this is, like we have been talking during the whole book, a matter of balance. If we are not balancing our expectations, focus, and our activities also, and we are only focused on one thing and just getting too much into that thing, we are losing of the whole spectrum of things. Maybe grace will come through the back door bringing something, and we are not seeing that because we are too focused on this. So we have to be more open regarding that, and let go also. Let go the control of things, not to be constantly looking for, in this case, the dreams. But it also happens with, we have talked about this too, about scientific methods and thinking. When we want to measure everything and we are too focused on measuring, that we are forgetting that there are things that maybe we don't know how to measure them yet, or maybe they are not worth measuring, or they are something that are really intangible. And we need to pay attention to that too, and maybe balance, again, balance is the word, both worlds. So not to be completely oblivious of the things, try to be understanding of our surroundings, the things that we are experiencing, and being open and aware that things can happen, and not to be also at the same time too focused on something. So we have to find our balance, and that is why I named this episode Become an Expert on Yourself, because you have to know yourself. Actually, the doctor doesn't mention this specifically, but I came with this conclusion that if I know myself, or if I know that I am focusing maybe too much on one thing and analyzing, okay, maybe I am living too much. The cost of opportunity, we say in business, is too much, that I'm leaving these things that can really be helpful and really, again, in terms of business, maybe more productive than the ones that I'm focusing on. And at the same time, maybe I am too productive and too analyzing too much or overthinking too much on this, about this, and I should be more open to letting intuition come into my life, for example. So I think this kind of balance, and I have also experienced this in my life. So I think the doctor could maybe nowadays could express this, I don't know, I was just assuming, in this way, trying to balance what are the things that we are putting our focus and our mind on, and being open to all the opportunities and the things that happens, right? To understand, oh, maybe that is serendipity. That is something that has come to nurture my own growing. Or maybe that is something I have to discard from my life. So that is why you need to be an expert on yourself. Even though the doctor doesn't say about being an expert on yourself, that is what I take out from this last chapter based on my experience. And also, at the same time, for example, recipes, there are something that we sometimes, and it has happened to all of us in different aspects of our lives. It has happened to me a lot of times too. We want a recipe. So what should I do? Exactly. Tell me how to be a mature person, how to travel this road of spiritual growth. What's step one, step two, step three? And maybe there is not such a thing. Maybe you can give or understand some guidelines, but the path is yours only. That is why you need to be an expert on your own path. And actually, that is how the doctor came with this book, with these words here. He says that even though he had read about, I don't know, Buddha, and he mentions Jesus, I think, here, and some other prophets, we could say, they had their own path. He had to understand through psychotherapy, in his case, how things worked according to his experience. So there are no recipes, and that is maybe a disappointment. And at the same time, grace is a paradox when we look forward to having it and to controlling it and to being the ones that we think we should do this, and that is the way to go, and focus too much on it. Maybe grace is just passing by and we haven't seen it. So it's a paradox. Maybe we are just, and also at the same time, if we are just not looking for anything, grace may be in front of us and we won't see it either. So again, this is a matter of balance. And everything that we have been talking about in the book, having the right discipline, which balance is part of discipline, and also having the love for ourselves and for others, when we can fuel our spiritual growth. I think that's the only thing I have to say about this chapter. And basically, the thing I could extract for me again is the name of the title of this episode: Become an Expert on Yourself. And if you have come through all the book with me to this last chapter. I mean, there's still one left, but chapters of the book. I appreciate super, super, super much. Thank you so much for being here. Having the patience, because we will talk a little bit about it in the next episode, but I think sometimes it has been like a little bit repetitive, the book. But I think every chapter has something really, really, I don't know if the word is juicy, because it has some other connotations, but in Spanish it would be like really nurturing is a word, sorry if it's not that. Something that can help you move forward, and that's my experience anyway. So if you haven't read the book and you want to give it a try, then I would appreciate if you would like to comment chapter after chapter. And it also helps you understand from your own perspective when you read a book, maybe with your own words, and you will have your own insights from each chapter. So I don't want to talk unnecessarily here, so we will talk in the next and last chapter of the whole section for this book. So thank you so much for being here, and have a nice week. See you next Sunday. Bye bye.
Stay tuned for Uluwa's next episode.